Hello, welcome to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. You're listening to New Streaming Network, home of Going Bold and Going Solo and WGSN. So we are so pleased to have you here with us today. This show is called Biz Buzz Igniting Success, and I am your host here today. I am Cece Shatz, fondly called the Doyenne of Relationships, and I am a divorce, dating, life, and a business mentor coach. I also am the president of the Going Solo Network, and you can find my websites on goingsolonetwork.com and then also newstreamingnetwork.com. So, we've got a lot going on, right? And so today we're going to talk about, you know, our mindset, right? We don't talk about that enough in business. We don't talk about our minds. And so when we're thinking about starting a business, and I've been talking to actually my son a great deal about, he's in college now, he's taking business as his courses, and he's focusing on that, a business degree. And we've been talking about, starting a business. He'd like to start a business. He's been kind of thinking about some different businesses in which to start. But it's truly your mindset that makes a huge difference. There's elements with regards to the business. There's finance, there's marketing, there's, the products, the services, all of that. But if you don't have the right mindset in the business, you won't be successful and you won't be able to really create the vision that you want. And we're going to talk about that here today. Um, you know, Long time ago, I was in sales, right? And I remember I was in my interview. The guy said to me, "Well, do you think, how do you think you can sell this and that and whatever?" And I said, "You know what? To be honest, I can sell anything that I believe in. Anything that I can put my mind to, I can sell." And so he hired me. And I was actually, one of the top salespeople in the firm because I truly did believe what I was selling. I thought what I sold would help other people. And therefore I could get my mind around that. I could really be able to move that forward. And so we're going to talk about that today when you're starting to set up your business, when you're starting to think about having a business. And a lot of us in our latter periods of life are having to start a business because we don't make enough money, right? Even if we have a full-time job, we're finding that we have to, freelance. We have to go out and do different things in order to continue to bring money in. And so a lot of us are thinking, let's start up a business because it can offset some of our expenses, which it can absolutely do if you do it right. So you want to talk to someone in finance to be able to help you with that, an accountant, someone that specializes in smaller businesses. Don't go to someone that, is going to focus on a bigger plan. Years ago, I was talking with someone and I wanted to get some coaching, right? And he kept going, talking about McDonald's and all of like Coca-Cola and all these major big companies, which is great, absolutely great. But I'm a little, starter. And so I needed to go at the ground floor to be able to move forward. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. And we're going to have a few shows on this helping you start from the ground floor up to start your business. And a lot of us have business experience because we have life experiences. So we're going to also take and incorporate some of that into our talks as we continue to move forward. So let's talk a little bit about the mindset. And I actually pulled up an article that was in, let's see where it's located. I pulled it up in Science of People. Science of People. I believe I read things like that. But anyhow, so this article came up and it made me start thinking about it. It talked about the mindset, 7 key factors of mindset. And one is the vision, right? If we don't have the vision to be able to really bring this to fruition, that we have nothing, right? So we have to start imagining the type of business that we want. We want to imagine not only the business that we want, but what the business is going to do for us and what it's going to do for other people. That's the key, is what is it going to do for someone else? Is that going to be it? Will it be successful? Will someone else be interested in hearing what you have, buying what you have, seeing what you have, using what you have? Those are the things that you want to think about. So if you're thinking about selling a product, you need to think about a product that the individuals out there in your world, right? Whatever your world is, are they going to be interested in this type of product? So you want to do your homework a little bit. You want to research it a little bit to see what that is and see what the possibility is. But you want to go beyond that. You want to put yourself in a position where you truly do feel that you're going to be successful in doing this business, right? Because if you don't believe in it yourself, you won't get anybody else to believe in you either, right? And let me tell you, there are going to be 101 naysayers out there, 101 and more. But that doesn't make a bit of difference if you believe in what you're doing, right? I started this business because I had the belief that it would help people. I believe that and I still believe it today, every talk show is going to change someone's life. Every talk show, the information that's on here today is going to change their lives. If they listen to it, they absorb it, they think about it, and then maybe even live it, right? It will change their lives. So you want to do the same thing for yourself. Do you see the vision of not only the business itself, right? The mechanics of the business. Do you see beyond that? Do you see the business becoming successful, and why will it be successful? And what do you have to do to achieve to make it successful? That's going to bring us to the initiative, right? The drive, take action to make things happen. You're right. We can sit and think about having a business all day long, right? But if we don't actually have the drive to put in to do the work, it won't happen for us, right? It's not magical. It's not, and we can't expect somebody else to do it. We can hire people to do some of the jobs maybe we're not great at or we don't like, right? But we still have to oversee them to make sure they're done the way we want them done, that it's going to still have the vision that we want it to have. So again, it's the initiative. You want to be able to have the initiative, the drive to take the action to make things happen. And this is a wonderful article. So look it up if you want, Science of People and the Science of People. So, we've got to be able to do the work, right? So we have to make a note, like if you're starting a business here today, I want you to sit down with a piece of paper, write down what are the steps in order to be able to make this work for you. Let's say, for instance, we're going to take an example, right? If you want to sell a product, or even a service, what is it going to take? Number one, what kind of product and service do you want to sell? What is it going to do to help other people? What do you have to do to market yourself, right? What is it going to cost you? Do you have to have overhead? Do you have to maintain overhead for it? Is it going to cost you to mail, to ship? Because right now we're in a world where we want shipping free, right? So, that means an expense to you, that you're going to have an expense to ship the product. So you have to incorporate the shipping costs in the price of the product because you're going to have to absorb that. Or you could have some sort of limit on what the price is. A lot of places will be like, it has to be $35 or more for free shipping. You could do something like that. But you want to start thinking ahead and making those kind of notes. So get yourself a binder, start writing down some things like that in it, and just start brainstorming, right? Brainstorming of what it is that you really see. And then you have to be able to lay that all out in a plan, what you see your business is going to be, where it's going to be. I very often, and I still do it today, I make myself a chart, right, of what I'm doing, because I have a lot of moving parts to my particular business, and some of them don't generate any income whatsoever, because I do them because I feel like I'm making the difference in the world. I'm putting my stamp on this world today. And so that's just my philosophy. I think we have to give back. We have to do things. And in my life, being the last quarter of my life, I want to make a difference in people's lives. So I generate and I do some things that are not income making for me. However, other things I do that are extremely, intensive, they have to be generating income. I have to be able to have income for them because I have expenses that have to cover. So again, you have to think about what your expenses are. So you have to start creating this mindset of what is going to happen for you and what it's going to do. The other thing is resilience. we have to be able to be capable to bounce back from setbacks and learn from our failures. So as we move forward, we're going to continuously hit ourselves up against the wall. We're going to be, you know, things are going to happen to us that we're going to think, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened, right? I get it all the time. Internet goes down. I'm an internet business. What do I do, right? I have to shake it off and just move forward as quickly as I possibly can, finding whatever the thing is. I will tell you, and I will share with you, I have been all over the place to get internet, to be able to do the shows, to be able to capture the shows that we do here. Sometimes I'm in a library. Sometimes I'm at a friend's house. Sometimes I'm, on the go. I've been in McDonald's. I mean, I've been wherever I could catch the internet so that we could keep going. You guys didn't know that. You didn't know where I was and what I was doing, how I was connecting on the internet. So we just have to keep bouncing back from setbacks that happen. We have to have the mindset we're going to be successful and we're going to do it no matter what. It's going to happen for us. And so you want to start twisting and thinking in your mind and being able to be adaptable. And then learn from your mistakes. Gosh, I tell you, I have done so many things. I mean, one is probably that I do give the store away, right? I do give things away. Does it make me feel good? Yeah, to do that, but it doesn't keep the lights on, right? So sometimes I have to think about, is this going to work for me? There's also things I generate and I spend time on that I don't get anything back. And those are mistakes for me. Those are failures for me. So I have to understand that, time is limited, time is money. And if I'm going to give it away, it's got to have the bang for my buck, right? It's got to generate the most for me. So you have to think about that too. If you're going to give something away and not make any money, what's it going to give you back in return? Is it going to make you feel good? That's great if it makes you feel good. Does it help other people out there? That's wonderful. But the reality is to be a successful business, you have to make income, right? Is it a hobby or is it a business? And I've been told that many times, and I roll that around in my head all the time. Is this a hobby or is this a business? And sometimes I have to be a business person. I have to say, you know what? I have to charge for this. I try to keep my prices down because I really want the content to help people. And I really want individuals to have the opportunity to have their story be told, have their expertise to be out there. But I also have to keep, the internet going, keep the expenses going, and keep things going for them. So I have to weigh the odds of those, right? So sometimes I do things that are not successful. And then I have to say, okay, I can't do that anymore. And what else can I do to make this better? So I think about it like that. So I hope that this is helping you. You guys are listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. This is the new streamingnetwork.com, and I am Cece Shatz on the Biz Buzz Igniting Success Business Show. And we're talking today about really your mindset, getting your mindset around your business. And so if you're going to kick off a business, you've really got to be able to kick it off in, flat-footed and know what you want and know where you want to go and not deviate from that. And so we've talked about at the beginning, we talked about the vision, initiative, and the resilience. Now we're going to talk about adapting, right? We're going to talk about the flexibility to pivot and adjust strategies as needed. And I tell you what, COVID showed us that, didn't it? It showed us that we had to be able to pivot and we had to pivot fast. Now, I've known all along for many, many years, I was offered to go on mainstream TV. I was offered to go on mainstream radio, FM, maybe AM, all of that. But I really felt internet was the way to go. And so I just stuck to my guns with what my belief was, right? What my mindset was. And I pursued internet with a vengeance. And we were on a lot of different platforms and things like that. I think we're one of the first talk stations like ours to be on Roku. So we are on Roku, the new streaming TV app. So check us out. But we've done very well on that, and I'm very, very pleased with that. But you have to be able to pivot with the times. You have to be able to keep up with the trends of things that are happening. I know that there's a lot of things I need to be doing and doing better, right? We're going, so you're seeing now Reels, you're seeing, Instagram is big in it. And then you've got, Facebook has the short videos, and YouTube has short videos, and everybody's got short videos. And so that's because our time span is shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. And we're just grabbing at things for a short time because we don't have the time to put into long term stuff. So we have to be able to start, I, for one, have to start adapting to that. So start doing some short things, which at the beginning of the year, we're going to be kicking off some things like that. I've been working on it. So you have to adjust yourself to strategies. You have to be out there. So your product and services that you're thinking about going into business, what is that? Are you going to be able to pivot from that? You want to keep, your finances light so that you can be able to pivot financially if you need to do that, to be able to be flexible in that. But you also have to have the mindset for that. You have to be thinking that when you have to make a change in your business, that it's not something that's horrible, but that it's something enlightening, that it's something exciting, something new, a new experience you're going to have. And so you want to keep that mindset going in a very positive, uplifting, enlightened way so that you can make those changes, so that you can create those changes. And the changes that you need to make, you need to research, right? You need to constantly research your product, your services. You need to research how it's being adapted out there in the public, however you're doing it, and see if you need to make some changes and pivots on that. To me, I used to years ago be afraid of change, hate change. Now I almost embrace change because I know that that's going to be a new step for me. It's something totally different. If something isn't working for me, it's hard for me at times to say, this just isn't working for me. But the reality is, if it's not working for me, it's not going to work for your customers, right? It's not going to work for the people out there that might be listening to you if you have a podcast. You have to be able to constantly move and adapt and be resilient to that. So again, you want to focus on your vision. You want to focus on the initiative, the drive, take action for what you do. So many people wait until they think it's perfect to start something. Don't wait till it's perfect. Just do it. If you believe in what you do, then just do it. And the rest will come. The rest will happen. Be capable to bounce back, wash off the naysayers. If you truly believe in what you've got and what you're doing, just move on from them, but bounce back from any setbacks, right? If something happens negative to you, then you look at it and say, okay, this happened. Now what can I do to fix it? How can I do it? I've often said, I'm a can-do person. You show me something that I truly want, and I'm going to get it done, right? And so that's what you need to have. You need to have that very positive mindset. You need to learn from your failures because you do not want to do them again. It costs you money to do them. If you find yourself in business doing something that's costing you money and you're failing over and over with it, you have to start thinking to yourself, why is that happening, right? You have to think about why is that happening to you, And if you're making the same mistakes, if you're trusting somebody too much, I've heard this happen in business many, many times. Well, they're my friend. They're my friend, so they'll take care of me. No, that doesn't happen in business. They are your friends, but you have to honor yourself first. And you have to truly look at what you're doing first, right? Is this truly the right thing for you to do? Financially, is it the right thing for you? Is economically and all of those things above, I've had to make some really hard decisions in my life. And, again, a lot of times what I do in my particular business is to help people. So I don't look at the economics probably as closely as I should. But the reality is I'm doing truly what my mindset was at the very beginning, and that was to help people. So I'm continuously putting that in front. But then, of course, I have to charge along the way, right? So you have to be resilient. You have to be adaptable. You have to be able to create, like everybody from COVID, when they were locked down. They couldn't go to their offices. They couldn't go to work. They had to change the whole way they did business because you couldn't shut down, right? Totally, because how are you going to live? We can't live for months. Some people were shut down for like a year. You can't do that, right? So you have to figure out how you're going to work your business from home. How are you going to do it from the internet? And a lot of people have changed their way of doing business. They work from home. They do a lot of different things like that. I, for one, love working from home in my office. I can work anywhere. As long as I have the internet, I can work. So I absolutely love that. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the next three. And I hope that this is helping you as you're moving forward in your business. So again, we're talking about the mindset mastery for startups. I am Cece Shatz, fondly called the Doyenne of Relationship Building. And I am so pleased to be with you here today on BizBuzz, Igniting Success Business Show. And we'll be right back. Hello, welcome back to BizBuzz Igniting Success Business Show. You are on WGSN-DB Going Solo Network and newstreamingnetwork.com, home of Going Bold and Going Solo. And we want to thank you so much for joining us today. I am Cece Shatz, fondly called the Doyenne of Relationship Building. And I am the president of Going Solo Network and the New Streaming. I'm the owner and founder of newstreamingnetwork.com. So I am so pleased that you guys are here with us today. We are thrilled. And I noticed that I didn't change my logo up there. So I did it over the break. So that's our logo for the BizBuzz Igniting Success. The other logo I had was a wonderful show that I do. It's called Link to Expert. And we have both one for business and for authors. So I hope you'll join me on that show with my good friend Joanne Weiland. And we have a lot of fun with that. We talk about all kinds of stuff and have guests. So I love her dearly. She's a good friend. And we just have a great time. So I hope you'll join us on that Link to Expert Business Showcase or the Author's Corner. And then again, here, this is called BizBuzz Igniting Success Business. So I hope I didn't confuse you with that, because I got a little confused too. We're talking about the mindset mastery for startup businesses. I wanted to talk about this because I've been talking a lot with my son about starting a business, and he was thinking about wanting to start selling some products and things like that. I would love for him to do that. I would love to do some focusing on what you might need to start up a podcast. A lot of people go out there and they buy a lot of equipment they don't necessarily need to buy. And I'd love to be able to have equipment that you could get at a reasonable fee and be able to step into your business and do it very well. So that's something him and I are tossing around. We'll see what we come up with, but he is a sweetheart. But you guys are working on starting your business. And so the first part of the show, we talked about that. We talked about your vision, really having a very concrete vision for what you wanted to be able to have your business in. Imagine yourself not only today building the business, but also what it's going to look like when you become successful. What are you truly working for? Because if you don't have something you're working for, if there's not a reason for you to be doing the business, it's not going to be grounded enough for you. To have the initiative to take action, you've got to take action and make things happen. You have to be resilient, bounce back from setbacks, learn from your failures. You have to be adaptable. You have to be able to be flexible, pivot, and adjust your strategies when needed, right? The next is going to be risk tolerance, the willingness to step out of one's comfort zone and embrace uncertainty. That is a big one. That is a big mindset shift. So to be able to step out of your comfort zone, face fear itself, right? And embrace uncertainty as you begin your business. So if you've got a strong mindset that this is truly what you want to do, you're going to make it happen. but you're going to also have fear along the way. You're going to have to be able to step out of your comfort zone. You're going to have to sometimes do things that you would never do before. I never in a million years ever thought I would be doing what I'm doing here today. But I find that the more I've done it, the more I love it, right? And so I stepped out of my comfort zone. My very first show was a radio show. I thought I was going to pass out. I didn't thought, my gosh, what am I thinking about, right? And I did it. I got through it, and now here I am on TV. And I know Alex, he had the TV station, and he got me into doing the TV, and he just he built me up, and he just made me feel so good. So surround yourself with very positive people that will take you to the next level. If you've got this insecurity about yourself or fear, right, and that you're stepping out of your comfort zone, surround yourself with those that will empower you to be able to do it. Sometimes we can't empower ourselves. Sometimes we have to get that push along the way, right, to make it happen. You got to put the naysayers in your pocket. I had many, 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 and I still do. Even some of my family members that I love so much, are the most negative people to me. But the reality is I have a vision, right? I know where I'm going. I know where the end's going to be. And so I just put them in my pocket, love them where they're at, and move forward, right? So surround yourself with people that will help you get through that, stepping out of your comfort zone and embrace the uncertainty. And be curious, right? Really have a desire to learn, explore, and question, right? What you do. I mean, that was kind of what I experienced when I started this also, regarding doing the divorce recovery. I had to truly learn and explore and question what I was doing, what I was moving forward through the transition of that. What is my single life going to look like? How am I going to be able to, live without a partner? Because I have been married probably the majority of my life, right? And so how is that going to look for me? But I had to be able to learn. I had to trust in my own instincts. I had to get out of my own self. I had to get out of my own way. I had to step out of my comfort zone. I had to embrace the future of tomorrow, right? And that's truly what we have to do. And if you don't know something about your particular business, start researching other businesses that are like yours. You need to know what your competition is, right? You need to know what your competition is doing, how they're doing it, and how are you going to be different, right? Because if you're just going to be the same old, ABC, they can go to A, they can go to B, they can go to C. Why go to you, right? So you want to step out and be able to know what your competition is, what they're doing. So you want to ask questions. You want to learn from those. You want to start understanding maybe the mistakes that they made so you don't make them too. You really, really do your homework on what you're doing, right? The other thing, and the very last thing, is problem solving. You have to be able to have the instinct to see challenges and puzzles waiting to be solved. So when you see that there's a problem, you have to be able to have the instinct to really know that that's going to be a problem. When something happens, right, in your business, you have to be able to say, oh, that's not going to work out. But what am I going to do about it, right? How am I going to face this? And how am I going to make that shift and be able to either adapt or make a change, right? And so you have to be able to do that. So you, having your own business, you have to problem solve all the time, and with me having 5 children, I certainly learned that along the way many, many times, unfortunately. But the reality, that's life. Problem solving is life, right? And so when something gets you down on your business, you have to just chalk it up to where, okay, this is what happened. Now, how am I going to fix it? And how am I going to move forward, right? And it's the same thing with anything. It's the same thing with your health. It's the same thing with partnership. It's the same thing with anything that you do. How are you going to be able to move forward in and what's happening to you? And the biggest thing for me, and they don't say this here, is really learn by situations and experiences, right? Learn by them. And I think that is so important, that we understand what happens in our lives. and we take responsibility and control of that. So we understand that. So we say to ourselves, okay, this might have happened. What part did I play in it? How am I going to be able to move forward? And what changes can I make, right? So that's what's very important, to be able to own up to what you do, make the changes and adapt and pivot if you need to, and be able to move forward in a very, positive mindset, knowing where you're going to be in the future, right? There's nothing holding you back but you. And I know that if you've decided today that you're going to go into business, it's just figuring out which business is going to work for you, and you will be a success. So I would love to help you along the way. If you have any questions or anything, please email me at goingsolonetwork@gmail.com. That's goingsolonetwork@gmail.com. Please continue listening to all of our wonderful shows here on the network. I ask you to please share, enjoy them, like them, and comment and subscribe. It's so important that you subscribe to our channel, because it not only helps me, but it helps each and every host that's here on our network and every guest that ever appears. So you're doing a tremendous service to us and to everyone if you subscribe to our channel. We would appreciate it tremendously. I want to thank you so much for joining me here today, and I hope that you have a wonderful time deciding what it is that you want to do. What kind of business you want to step into. As I said, I've been talking to my son about business. He's going for a business degree, and I'm excited for him because it's a new, wonderful opportunity for him. And there's so many wonderful things happening out there and in the business world, right? With the internet and all the technology that we have, not only today, but what's going to be in the future. So if you want to start your own business, I applaud you, and I want to help you every step of the way. So please just give me an email at goingsolonetwork@gmail.com, and I would love to hear about what you're doing, how you want to go about doing it, and if I can assist you in any way, I'd be happy to. So I hope you enjoyed today's show. This is BizBuzz Igniting Success Business Show. I am Cece Shatz, and I want to thank you so much for joining us here today, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.